Okay, so we're going to look at rationalizing fractions where the denominator has two terms. It's a binomial, okay? So these are same idea as before, but the technique is a little bit different. So we still need to multiply the top and bottom of the fraction by something, but it's not just the square root part because that won't get rid of all the square roots. So what you need to multiply by is called the conjugate. The conjugate of a binomial term means same terms but with different sign. So if you have 2 minus square root of 6, the conjugate is going to be 2 plus square root of 6. So we're going to multiply by 2 plus square root of 6. So you keep the same terms, but you change your minus to a plus. So that's called a conjugate. So we're going to do the same thing to the top and the bottom. And then we multiply. So we have 7. Because it's a binomial, it has two terms, I'm going to put in parentheses like this. And on the bottom, I'm going to use parentheses. I have 2 minus square root of 6 and 2 plus square root of 6. All right. Okay, so now we multiply. So this means distribute because you have parentheses. I have 7 times 2 is 14. And then 7 and square root of 6 is 7 square root of 6. And 7 goes on the outside. All right, on the bottom, we do 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times square root of 6 is plus 2 square root of 6. Then negative 6 times 2 is minus 2 square root of 6. And negative 6 times positive square root of 6 is minus square root of 36. All right, so the reason this works to get rid of the square root, because when you have opposite signs, these will always cross out, okay? And then you don't have any radicals. So we have 14 and 7 square root of 6 on the top, and then 4 minus, we do the square root here, 4 minus 6 on the bottom. We're going to get 14 plus 7 square root of 6 divided by negative 2. Okay, that's it. Sometimes people separate these into two different fractions. So 14 divided by negative 2 is negative 7. And then 7 divided by negative 2 doesn't go exactly, so you keep it as the fraction part. Okay, but that first answer is sufficient. It's good. All right, so let's get you to try one. Okay, so we're going to grab a problem. So notice it's the same kind of problem. We have 4 minus square root of 11 on the bottom. Go ahead and try this out and come back and pause it and see the steps. All right, let's see how you did. Okay, so we need to multiply. So because this has two terms, minus in the middle, I need the conjugate. So it's going to be 4 plus square root of 11 and 4 plus square root of 11. Okay, so we're going to multiply. We're going to use parentheses. 5 parentheses 4 plus square root of 11. And on the bottom, put the binomials inside the parentheses. 4 minus square root of 11 and 4 plus square root of 11. Okay, so we're going to distribute. So 5 times 4 is 20. And then 5 square root of 11 go together. On the bottom, I have 4 and 4 times 4 is 16. And then plus 4 square root of 11 minus 4 square root of 11. And then minus square root of 121. Let's extend this line. Okay. So notice that these cross out as they always should, so those radicals are gone. And then we get 20 and 5 square root of 11. And then 16. And then do the radical, because that ends up as a perfect square, so 16 minus 11. Right. So we have 20 plus 5 square root of 11 divided by 16 minus 11, which is 5. Okay, so let's split up the fraction. We have 20 divided by 5 and 5 square root of 11 divided by 5. So these simplify. This is 4. And then the 5 divides the 5. Notice like outside the radical numbers simplify together. They won't simplify with the inside a radical number. So we just get 4 plus square root of 11 like that. All right. Let's look at another one. Okay, so let me grab another problem and we can work on that. Okay, so we look at this expression. We notice we have 2 radical terms on the bottom. We need to multiply by that conjugate. All right, so we're going to multiply by square root of n plus square root of 7. So it doesn't matter what terms you have there, you have those 2 terms, you just put the opposite sign of what you had originally. So if it's a minus, you're going to put a plus. Right? And then we multiply, so we have square root of 5, square root of n plus square root of 7. And then we have square root of n minus square root of 7, square root of n plus square root of 7. Okay. All right, so we need to get rid of parentheses. We need to distribute. So multiplied on top. Notice both things are inside square root, so they go together inside the radical. I have square root of 5n. And then this and this will give you square root of 35. Okay, then this is going to give me square root of n squared plus square root of 7n minus square root of 7n minus square root of 49. Okay, let's simplify. So on the top I have square root of 5n plus square root of 35. They stay separate. These cross out. Square root of n squared is n minus square root of 49 is 7. And that's it. This is all you can do with this one. Doesn't really simplify anymore. All right, good.